Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, glory, and the highest honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rahakdash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect of the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, I'm today with Brother Tasayar, and we're going to do Daniel chapter 2, breakdown part 2, right here, right now. And we left off at verse 23. We read 23, but so now we go to verse 24. So you got it, bro.
Con. Let me pull that up really quick.
Yeah.
Con. So this is the book of Daniel, chapter 2, and verse 23. It
You
reads,
can go to, well,
20,
yeah, read 23. Yeah, it's in the spirit, man. Read 23.
Con. It reads, I thank thee and praise thee, O thou God of my fathers, who has given me wisdom and might, and has made known unto me now what we desired of thee, for thou hast now made known unto us the king's matter.
Yeah, so pretty much the Most High showed everything to Daniel. Okay, you got it?
Con. Verse 24. Therefore Daniel went in unto Arioch, whom the king had ordained to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went and said thus unto him, Destroy not the wise men of Babylon. Bring me in before the king, and I will show unto the king the interpretation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 25. Then Arioch brought in Daniel before the king in haste, and said this unto him, I have found a man of the captives of Judah that will make known unto the king the interpretation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 26. The king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar, Art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen, and the interpretation thereof?
Yeah, so it was this difficult task that he asked his magicians and wise men and astrologers that, hey, I have seen a dream. Tell me what my dream was, and then break it down. None of them could do it, so he was like, man, fuck with all of these with these so-called wise men. But amongst them, you had Daniel and his friends Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Those were their Babylonian names. Okay, and they was also gonna get done away with. But then Daniel was like, hey, with the Most High on my side, you know. This is gonna be fulfilled. So let us not perish, but let us deal with the king Nebuchadnezzar, so we can be delivered pretty much. So you got it.
Con, this is verse 27. Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, The secret which the king hath demanded cannot the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, the soothsayers show unto the king? So
Yeah,
he,
go ahead.
yeah, so Daniel is
Oh,
pretty much
yeah,
saying,
yeah,
like, oh, can't your wise men decipher your dream?
yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Verse 28. But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these.
Yeah, so what Nebuchadnezzar saw was something for the future, for the prophet, for the end times, okay? For right about now, you know, about 2,600 years forward.
Gone.
Yeah,
And we're in those days now. Fast forward to
yeah,
today.
yeah, most def.
Okay, so this is verse 29. As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came into thy mind upon thy bed, what should come to pass hereafter? And he that revealeth secrets maketh known to thee what shall come to pass. Verse 30.
Yeah,
But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than any living, but for their sakes that shall make known the interpretation to the king, and that thou mightest know the thoughts of thy heart.
yeah. So you see, he was not Daniel was not taking the credit. Okay, he was not saying that is not that I'm not this great person. Okay, but hey, and the scriptures say that the more humble thyself, the greater thou art. So Daniel was a very great man because of his humility. So you got it.
Khan. So this is verse verse 31. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightest was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible.
Yeah. So now he's breaking down the dream. Okay. So there was this image, okay, of a figure. Okay. So I can continue with the reading from here. So I'm gonna just read verse by verse, and you can just break it down, bro. So
Khan.
verse 32: His image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass.
Khan. And that represents, so the head of fine gold was the Babylonian kingdom, Nebuchadnezzar's.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
the breast and his arms of silver was the Persians.
They're media persons.
Khan. His belly and his thighs of brass was the Greeks, Alexander
Yeah,
the
that's
Great.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Grecians, the Greek Empire. His legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay.
Khan, and that the legs of iron would be the Roman Empire, and his feet
Yeah,
part iron and part clay would be like the EU, NATO, and Babylon, United States.
yeah, and part is iron is weak as Slovakia. Iron is strong, but clay is weak as fuck. You have a vessel of clay, you drop it, and boom, it goes to million and one pieces. Okay, or at least it cracks. It gets broken, but with iron, no, it's gonna stay intact. It's very hard material. Okay,
Khan,
uh, yeah, Tausoves Tiltada stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay and break them to pieces.
Khan, and that represents Yahweh Shai. He's gonna take this last kingdom down.
Yeah, that's right, and that's you can go to uh, or not now, but just paraphrasing 1 Corinthians 15 and 24, where it says that, and then come at the end when he shall have delivered the kingdom to the Father, even the Most High, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and authority and power. So that's talking about Yahweh Shai's return when he's gonna, take out the so-called powers that be, the banking families, the secret societies, the world governments of today, this fucking Bilderberg group motherfuckers. You know, Yahweh Shai is gonna take them down, man.
Khan,
35:10 was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them, and the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth.
Khan. So that represents the kingdom of heaven, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, you see that's the transition of a road, as it says in Second Ezra 6 and 9. Esau is the end of the road, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So you see here, the kingdoms of the heathen getting done away with, and like you said, bro, Yahushua is gonna set up the kingdom of Israel, which is gonna reign forever.
Khan, and
So, yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
it's crazy. It's crazy how the Lord allowed these heathens to rule. Everybody had a chance at rulership, but none of it worked.
None of it fucking worked, man.
They all
Verse
collapsed.
36. Yeah, they all collapse, bro. They all collapse. Verse 36. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the power of heaven has given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven has he given into thine hand, and has made thee ruler over them all. Thou art his head of gold.
Khan, and yeah, Nebuchadnezzar had abundance.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, that's right. And after thee shall arise an other kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth.
Khan, and yeah, that was the Medio-Persian and the Greek Empire.
Yeah, that's right. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all things, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
Khan, and that, yeah, the Roman Empire conquered like most of the world, I believe.
Yeah, they conquered the whole lot, and they showed that also how they did it in the Gladiator Part Two. They just go with ships to these different smaller kingdoms and pretty much just you know fucking bomb it down, man.
And that's
Use
what,
these
and
yeah,
that's
use
what
these cannons.
Khan, and that's what America does all over again.
Yeah,
They go and
yeah,
invade countries and set up military bases.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. These standing camps, in the scriptures is known as garrisons, and you know they in the pagan Roman Empire they used a lot of iron, which is a very strong material. Okay, and verse 41, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay.
Khan, and that's the how nowadays like America and EU and NATO are they're divided. They're not. They have a lot of tension between them.
Yeah, that's right. And they have some countries which are stronger economically and more and militarily, and some countries which are weaker economically and militarily. For example, they had a new Trump had a new decree that if you a NATO country, you have to invest 5% of your country's BKT or gross domestic product in English, I should say. In Finnish, it's BKT, but yeah, in English, GDP, gross domestic product. They have to invest 5% of it for for military might. Okay, and there was for example Spain who was saying like now we can only do like 2.8%. So that would be considered a country which militarily is not at the same level as for example United States or Turkey, or pretty much even Finland has a strong as fuck military because they have mandatory uh, uh, service, military service. So pretty much all of the men that you just see walking on the streets, they are soldiers, man. So we're talking about the reserve of about 1 million soldiers, man. You see, so some are stronger, some are weaker. So
Khan,
verse 2, yeah, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
Khan, and that's how you just broke it down.
Yeah,
Some nations are stronger than others.
yeah, that's it. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
Khan. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's all gonna collapse. It's not gonna last. It's not built to last.
Yeah, yeah, and they have even, with these, with the, children of men, which are the other nations outside of Esau, because you have the three classifications. You have the children of the Most High, which are Israelites. You have children of wicked, which are Edomites, and you have children of men, which are the other nations, all the heathen, Elamites, Moabites, and all that. So, for example, in the G7, you have Japan in there, which are Ammonites, but their cooperation is only limited. When it's going to be time of World War III, pretty much everybody just finna shoot these missiles to America, man. You know,
Yeah, Khan. And I believe Ammon and in Japan, there's like a shortage of males. They're trying to get Jake over there to have babies.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, yeah. I see something like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Khan, and that's what we're waiting for, the righteous kingdom under Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, yeah, that's right, bro. For as much as let me get a scripture for that. It's in the same book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 18, and it reads, But the saints of the Most High, which are Israelites, shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So you see, this is what we're reading in Daniel chapter 2. Okay, verse 45. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great power has made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure.
Khan, and that must have been heavy. Nebuchadnezzar saw that. That's why he was so disturbed, and he wanted
Yeah,
answers.
yeah, he was, yeah, he was, bugged out a little bit about that dream, man.
Yeah, Khan.
Yeah, and another precept in Daniel 4 and 17 it says, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men." So right now you have the basest of men in the power seat, but as it says here, the Most High decides who rules and who doesn't. In Job 9:24 it says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, who and where is he?" So right now it's the time of the wicked, but afterwards it's going to be our times. And as you see here, it says uh, uh, that this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones. So you see, is factual. It's not light words. These are heavy words which are going to come to pass. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You
Khan.
see, as even in verse 45 here in Daniel chapter 2, uh, it says the dream is certain and the interpretation thereof is sure. So you see, these things they will most definitely come to pass.
Khan, just like prophecy, there's no stopping it. It's preordained to happen.
Yeah,
And people
yeah.
scoff when people see us in the highways and byways speaking on these things, people scoff and you guys are crazy, but that doesn't stop
Mm.
prophecy from happening.
Yeah, yeah. Romans 3:3. What if some did not believe? Should that make the belief of them that believe without effect? And says the Most High forbid. No, they let the unfaithful die in their unfaithfulness. This is how it goes, man.
Khan.
So verse 46, then the king Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and worshipped Daniel, and commanded that they should offer an oblation and sweet odors unto him.
Khan. And like we were speaking last time, that's heavy because the king bowed down to a slave.
Yeah, yeah. Originally he was a slave and that, but then the king Nebuchadnezzar put him into high rank, as we're gonna read here. 47. The king answered unto Daniel and said, "Of a truth it is that your power is a power of powers." Okay, or if I read it literally, that your God is a God of gods and a Lord of kings and a revealer of secrets, seeing thou couldst reveal his secret. Then the king made Daniel a great man and gave him many great gifts and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon and chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon.
Khan. And that's through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. He was able to do that.
Yeah, yeah. So pretty much, Daniel was second in command of all of Babylon. First you had Nebuchadnezzar, and after that you had Daniel.
Khan.
Yeah, verse 49, the last verse. Then Daniel requested of the king, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel sat in the gate of the king.
Khan. And that's mighty.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. And their Hebrew names of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. God.
Khan.
But this is pretty much the breakdown of Daniel chapter 2. We did the part 1, this part 2, and Lord willing, this was edifying for the hopeful elect of the Hebrew Israelites, and it's a heavy chapter, as well as the whole book of Daniel is heavy because it's very prophetic. Okay, so you have anything you want to say, bro?
Oh, that was it. That was spoken beautifully.
So hey, with that, we're gonna cut the video. We're gonna give all praise, glory, and the highest honor. Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai Ba'asham Hakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.
Shalom.